Walk into a museum or a historic shipyard in Scandinavia, and one detail jumps out immediately: the wood. Viking longships, barns, and halls are centuries old, yet the timber beams remain strong, the planks unwarped, and the surfaces remarkably intact. Meanwhile, modern decks, fences, and sheds rot within a few years, even with chemical sealants, paints, and synthetic preservatives. The Vikings didn't rely on chemicals at all. Instead, they used a practical, natural method that transformed ordinary timber into a material resistant to water, fungi, insects, and time itself. Understanding this approach isn't just history, it's a blueprint for anyone wanting wood that lasts. Vikings understood that moisture, not age, is what destroys wood. Rot only occurs when water creates an environment where fungi and insects thrive. Vikings understood this instinctively. They selected heartwood, the dense inner core of trees, over sapwood, which absorbs water more readily. Trees were felled in winter when sap levels were lowest, and mature timber was chosen for key structural elements like beams, posts, and ship planks. Modern construction often overlooks these steps, relying instead on chemical coatings to compensate for inferior materials. For anyone building today, choosing dense, well-seasoned heartwood is the first and most crucial step toward long-lasting timber. Slow drying and natural seasoning prevented decay before construction even began. Before being shaped or installed, timber was allowed to dry slowly, sometimes for months or even years. Logs were stacked off the ground, protected from rain but exposed to air. This natural seasoning reduced internal moisture, making the wood far less hospitable to fungi and insects, and stabilized the timber to prevent warping or cracking once in place. Modern lumber is often moved from forest to site in weeks, skipping this essential step. Letting wood season naturally today, especially for outdoor projects like decks, sheds, or fences, is one of the simplest and most effective ways to extend its lifespan. Another critical step in the Viking method was the careful application of heat. Beams and planks were exposed to low, steady flames or hot coals until the surface darkened. This hardened the outer fibers, drove out moisture, and chemically altered the wood to resist fungi and insects. Archaeological evidence from ship hulls and medieval buildings shows clear signs of charring. Today, this can be replicated safely with a propane torch or kiln treatment, producing exterior timber that naturally resists decay while keeping the inner wood strong and flexible. Once charred, timber was coated with pine tar, tree resin, or oils while still warm. These substances penetrated deeply into the wood fibers, forming a semi-permeable layer that repelled water but allowed the wood to breathe. Unlike modern plastics or varnishes, these coatings expanded and contracted with the wood, preventing cracks that trap moisture. Vikings applied this combination of charring and resin to ship hulls, posts, beams, and roof supports, creating timber that could survive centuries of exposure to rain, snow, and insects. For modern use, warming the wood slightly before brushing on pine tar or a tar and oil blend allows the liquid to soak deeply and cure naturally. Even the best treated timber will fail if it remains in contact with moisture. Vikings solved this with smart design. Posts were elevated on stone or gravel to prevent soil contact. Roof beams extended beyond walls to shed rain. Joints were angled to prevent water pooling, and ventilation was prioritized to allow enclosed timber to dry naturally. Layers of lime or ash beneath posts added another layer of protection against fungi and insects. Modern construction often relies solely on chemical coatings, ignoring these design strategies. By combining natural preparation with proper placement and airflow, the longevity of timber increases dramatically. You can replicate the Viking method today with practical steps. Whether building a deck, fence, shed, or restoring historical timber, this method is fully achievable. Start with dense, well-seasoned heartwood. Slowly char exterior surfaces to harden fibers and drive out moisture. Apply warmed pine tar or a tar and oil mixture while the wood is warm to allow deep penetration. Elevate posts on gravel or stone. Design joints and overhangs to shed water and ensure airflow around all surfaces. Even adopting a few of these steps can dramatically increase the life of wood compared to modern chemically treated alternatives. Vikings prioritized longevity, and the results still stand today. Modern construction often prioritizes speed and cost over durability. Vikings relied on observation, patience, and techniques refined over generations. Their combination of timber selection, seasoning, controlled heat, natural coatings, and thoughtful architectural design produced wood that survived centuries, sometimes outlasting entire civilizations. By studying and applying these methods today, we can protect timber naturally, create structures that endure, and preserve centuries of accumulated knowledge. If you want to learn practical historical techniques, protect timber naturally, and build structures that last for generations, subscribe to Past to Live. Share this video with anyone who works with wood, restores historical buildings, or values time-tested methods. By applying this forgotten Viking method, we can ensure that wood, craftsmanship, and knowledge survive for centuries.